The sun was just beginning to rise when Rosemary was born. Her first cry filled the small hospital room, a soft but strong wail that brought smiles to the faces of everyone present. Her mother, Ada, lay on the hospital bed, her face glowing with a mixture of exhaustion and joy. Her father, Cheek, stood nearby, nervously wringing his hands, but unable to hide the excitement in his eyes. Welcome to Afro Tales TV, your home for rich, exciting, and inspiring stories from around the world. Today's story will touch your heart and keep you hooked till the very end. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss any of our amazing stories. When the nurse placed the baby in Ada's arms, both parents gasped. "Cheek, look at her," Ada whispered, her voice trembling. Cheeky leaned closer and stared at the tiny bundle in Ada's arms. Rosemary's skin shimmered like the morning dew on fresh green leaves. Her skin wasn't just green, it sparkled as though tiny diamonds were embedded in it. Her small hands waved gently, catching the light and reflecting it like a prism. "Her skin! It's beautiful," Cheek said, his voice filled with wonder. Ada touched Rosemary's tiny fingers, marveling at the soft texture of her glowing skin. "Cheek, have you ever seen anything like this? Is she okay?" The doctor, who had been observing silently, smiled warmly. "Congratulations, Mr. and Mrs. Okoro. Your baby is perfectly healthy. Her unique skin color doesn't indicate any illness. It's just special." Ada looked up at the doctor, relief washing over her face. "Are you sure, doctor? This is not something dangerous?" "I'm certain," the doctor assured her. "She's as healthy as any baby I've delivered. Her skin color is unique, but there's nothing to worry about. She's just one of a kind." Cheek chuckled nervously, still staring at his daughter. "One of a kind indeed. She's beautiful, Ada. Look at how her skin sparkles." Ada smiled, tears of joy streaming down her cheeks. "She's perfect, Cheek. She's our miracle." Homecoming. When the family returned home 3 days later, the news of Rosemary's birth spread quickly. Friends and family members gathered at the Okoro household to welcome the new baby. Ada had dressed Rosemary in a soft white onesie that made her green, sparkling skin stand out even more. The first visitors arrived early in the morning. Ada's younger sister, Ngozi, was among them. She burst into the house with excitement, carrying a small basket of baby clothes and toys. "Ada? Cheek, congratulations!" Ngozi exclaimed, hugging her sister tightly. "Let me see my niece." Ada smiled and handed Rosemary over to Ngozi, who gasped as soon as she saw the baby's face. "Her skin! It's green!" Ngozi said, her voice filled with both amazement and confusion. "Yes, Ngozi," Cheeky replied firmly. "Our daughter has green skin, and she's the most beautiful baby in the world." Ngozi touched Rosemary's tiny hand, her eyes widening as she noticed the subtle sparkle. "It's like she's glowing. I've never seen anything like this. But, is it normal? Is she okay?" "She's perfectly fine," Ada said confidently. "The doctor assured us there's nothing wrong with her." As the day went on, more people arrived to see the baby. Some brought gifts, others brought their curiosity, but not everyone was as kind as Ngozi. An elderly neighbor, Mama Ifeoma, leaned over to get a better look at Rosemary and shook her head. "This is not normal," she muttered under her breath. "A baby with green skin? This is not a good sign." Ada overheard and frowned. "Mama Ifeoma, my daughter is special. She's healthy and perfect just the way she is." Mama Ifeoma clicked her tongue and walked away, muttering something about curses and strange occurrences. By the end of the week, rumors about Rosemary had spread throughout the village. Some people claimed she was a child of the gods, sent to bless the family. Others whispered that she was a curse, and that her unusual appearance was a sign of misfortune. One evening, Ada and Cheeky sat in their living room, cradling Rosemary as they talked about the gossip. "Cheek, do you hear what people are saying about our daughter?" Ada asked, her voice filled with frustration. Cheek sighed, shaking his head. "I've heard it all, Ada, but we can't let their words affect us. Rosemary is our daughter, and we love her just the way she is." Ada nodded, but her eyes were filled with worry. "I just don't want her to grow up feeling like she's different in a bad way. She's so beautiful, Cheeky. Why can't people see that?" "They'll see it eventually," Cheeky said, his voice steady. "We'll show them that Rosemary is not a curse or a sickness. She's a blessing." The next day, a group of men gathered outside Cheek's shop, talking loudly about Rosemary. Cheek was inside, arranging goods on the shelves, when he overheard their conversation. "Have you seen Cheek's baby?" one man said. "Green skin? That's not normal. Something's not right with that child." Another man chimed in. "I heard it's a curse. Maybe their ancestors are angry with them." Cheeky stepped out of the shop, his face stern. "If you have something to say about my daughter, say it to my face," he said, his voice firm. The men fell silent, avoiding Cheek's gaze. "My daughter is not a curse," Cheeky continued. "She's healthy, beautiful, and unique. If you don't have anything kind to say, keep your opinions to yourselves." The men muttered apologies and quickly dispersed, leaving Cheek standing tall, his heart swelling with pride for his little girl. Ada, too, faced her share of criticism, especially from older women in the village. One day, while carrying Rosemary to the market, an elderly woman stopped her. "Why are you parading this child around?" the woman asked, frowning. "People are talking, Ada. This child is not normal." Ada looked the woman straight in the eye and said, "My daughter is more than normal. She's extraordinary, and I'm proud to be her mother." The woman scoffed but said nothing more as Ada walked away, holding Rosemary tightly. Despite the whispers and stares, Ada and Cheeky refused to hide their daughter. They took her to church every Sunday, where the pastor prayed for her and assured the congregation that Rosemary was a blessing. "God does not make mistakes," the pastor said one Sunday, holding Rosemary gently in his arms. "This child is a testimony of his creativity and love." The congregation murmured in agreement, and slowly, the negative whispers began to fade. As Rosemary grew, her parents remained unwavering in their love and support. They ignored the negativity and focused on raising their daughter in a home filled with love and acceptance. One evening, as the family sat together in the living room, Cheek looked at Ada and said, "Our daughter is going to do great things one day. I can feel it." Ada smiled, looking down at Rosemary, who was fast asleep in her arms. "She's already great, Cheek. She's already great." And so, the journey of Rosemary, the sparkling baby with green skin, began. A journey filled with challenges, but also with love, courage, and the promise of a bright future. Rosemary's second birthday was a joyful occasion. Ada baked a small cake, and Chike decorated their modest home with colorful balloons. Friends and family from the village gathered to celebrate the little girl with sparkling green skin. Rosemary laughed and clapped her tiny hands, blissfully unaware of the world's opinions about her unique appearance. But just a month later, everything changed. Cheeky came home one evening with exciting news. "Ada, I got the job in Ibadan," he announced, his face glowing with happiness. Ada's eyes widened. "Ibadan? That's wonderful, Cheeky. But what about Rosemary? How will people there react to her?" Cheeky sat beside her and held her hands. "I know it won't be easy, Ada, but this job is a big opportunity for us. We'll move to Ibadan and start afresh. We'll protect Rosemary no matter what." Ada nodded, her heart filled with both hope and fear. "We'll do whatever it takes to give her a good life." Packing up their home was bittersweet. Rosemary toddled around the house, clutching her favorite teddy bear, while Ada and Cheek loaded boxes into the hired truck. When the day came to leave, many villagers gathered to say goodbye. By this time, most of them had come to accept Rosemary's unique appearance. "Take care of our special child," Mama Ifeoma said, tears in her eyes. "We will," Cheeky promised, shaking hands with neighbors and friends. As the truck drove away, Ada held Rosemary close. "Goodbye home," she whispered. After a long journey, they arrived in Ibadan. The city was bustling with activity. Cars honked, vendors shouted, and people moved in every direction. Rosemary's wide eyes sparkled with curiosity as she peeked out of the truck window. "Welcome to our new home, my darling," Ada said, kissing her daughter's forehead. The apartment Cheeky rented was a small but cozy two-bedroom flat in a quiet neighborhood. Ada immediately fell in love with the place, especially the little balcony where she could sit and watch the sunset. As they unpacked, a curious neighbor knocked on the door. A middle-aged woman with a friendly smile introduced herself as Auntie Sade. "Welcome to the neighborhood," she said warmly. "I live just down the hall." "Thank you," Ada replied, inviting her in. Auntie Sade's smile faltered slightly when she noticed Rosemary playing on the floor. "Oh, is this your daughter?" she asked hesitantly. "Yes, this is Rosemary," Cheek said, smiling proudly. "Her skin," Auntie Sade began, clearly unsure how to phrase her thoughts. "Her skin is special," Ada said calmly. "Rosemary is perfectly healthy." Auntie Sade nodded quickly. "Of course, she's beautiful," she said, though her voice carried a hint of uncertainty. After she left, Cheek sighed. "It's starting already," he muttered. Ada placed a hand on his shoulder. "We knew it would, but we'll handle it together." Despite the curious stares and whispered comments from neighbors, Rosemary was a lively and cheerful child. She spent her days playing with her toys, drawing on paper with crayons, and giggling as Cheeky chased her around the apartment. One evening, as Cheeky was reading her a bedtime story, she climbed onto his lap and asked, "Daddy, why do people look at me funny?" Cheek paused, his heart aching for his little girl. "Rosemary, people look at you because you're special. You're different, and that makes you amazing." Rosemary tilted her head. "Different? Like how?" "Well," Cheek said, searching for the right words, "your skin is green and sparkly, like a beautiful gem. Not everyone has skin like yours, so they're curious. But that doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you." Ada, who had been listening from the doorway, joined them. She hugged Rosemary tightly. "My darling, you are unique, and we love you just the way you are." Rosemary smiled, her worries fading. "Okay, Mommy, I love you too." When Rosemary turned 4, Ada and Cheek decided it was time for her to start school. They found a small private school nearby and enrolled her in the nursery class. "Are you excited to make new friends?" Ada asked as she braided Rosemary's hair the night before her first day. "Yes, Mommy," Rosemary said, bouncing on the bed. "I want to play and learn." The next morning, they dressed her in her new uniform, a crisp white shirt and a navy blue pinafore. Ada packed her lunchbox with snacks and kissed her goodbye as Cheeky drove her to school. At the school gate, Cheeky knelt down and looked into Rosemary's eyes. "Remember, my princess, you are special. Be yourself, and everything will be okay." Rosemary nodded confidently and ran into the school with her tiny backpack. When Rosemary entered the classroom, the other children stopped what they were doing and stared at her. Some whispered to each other, while others simply pointed. "Why is her skin green?" one boy asked loudly. "Is she sick?" another girl whispered. Rosemary froze, her excitement quickly replaced by confusion and sadness. She walked to an empty seat at the back of the class and sat down quietly. Throughout the day, the other children avoided her. During playtime, she stood by herself while the others ran around in groups. At lunchtime, no one sat with her. When the bell rang at the end of the day, Rosemary ran to the gate, her eyes filled with tears. Cheek, who was waiting for her, immediately noticed her distress. "What's wrong, my princess?" he asked, lifting her into his arms. Rosemary buried her face in his shoulder. "No one wants to play with me, Daddy. They all looked at me like I'm strange." Cheek's heart broke. "Oh, my sweet girl. Let's go home and talk about it with Mommy." At home, Ada listened as Rosemary tearfully explained her day. "Mommy, why is my skin different from the other children? Why don't they want to be my friends?" Ada knelt beside her daughter and wiped away her tears. "Rosemary, listen to me. You are different because you are special. Not everyone understands that right away, but that doesn't mean you should stop being yourself." Cheek sat beside them and added, "You are brave, Rosemary. You're kind and smart, and that's what matters. Some people need time to see how amazing you are, but don't let their opinions change who you are." Rosemary sniffled, but nodded slowly. "Okay, Mommy. Okay, Daddy." Ada hugged her tightly. "You're our shining star, Rosemary. Never forget that." That night, as Rosemary lay in bed, she thought about her parents' words. She didn't fully understand why she was different, but she knew her parents loved her, and that gave her comfort. Ada and Cheeky stood by her bedroom door, watching her drift off to sleep. "We'll protect her, no matter what," Ada said softly. Cheek nodded, his voice firm. "At all costs." And so, as the family faced the challenges of their new life in Ibadan, they remained determined to shield their daughter with love and strength, preparing her for the world that was still learning to accept her unique beauty.